So we've got Lions 15-year anniversary show coming up. And so Brandon and I put a post out asking for some questions about the band and us. And I have not seen any of these questions.
I have.
I'm horrified.
Cool. So let's get to it. I feel like a really good starter question. Somebody asked, where is Lions officially from? And then they said Providence, Massachusetts, New England, ? Which is interesting.
That is a good question.
It is a good question.
I think that, well, from my perspective, I assumed it was Boston. But then when I moved here, I ended up living in Providence for like a decade.
That's very true. I mean, the band started off with me, and I am from Boston. You know, our original rehearsals and whatnot were in Boston at the beginning of the band. So I think that's, you know, that was the root of the band. Massachusetts, I guess you'd say Massachusetts. Van is from Shrewsbury, which is basically the Worcester area. Danny is from the South Shore of Massachusetts. And then, who else is the band? Oh, yeah, Johnny K was from like...
Shout out Johnny K.
Yeah, shout out Johnny K. Johnny was from the Acton area, which I would often respond with Acton a fool.
Yep.
You know?
As you would.
So he's from Acton. You can, if you don't know where that is, you can look that up. Acton. Yeah, basically the band is from Massachusetts, and the reason why we were in Providence when you moved here was because Providence is significantly less expensive to live.
True.
Than Massachusetts.
Especially when there's like 6 people living in one apartment.
That's very true. So
I think that it got so convoluted over the years because me being from Reno, Nevada, and then moving there, and then Isaac is from North Carolina, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Isaac is an interesting one because he actually is from Massachusetts, grew up in the Attleboro area. And then I want to say for like middle school and high school, he moved to North Carolina.
Just long enough to get a slight accent and then bring it back.
Moving forward, here's a really good one. You know, just started off early. Would you suck each other off to save everyone in the band from certain death?
Is it the current lineup of the band, or does that include past members?
Good question. You know what? They didn't specify, and because they didn't specify, this is very much what I believe to be to our benefit, because suck each other off of what and in what regard? You could stand on a chair and I could just go and you could fall off of the chair and I have now sucked you off of a chair.
I never thought about that.
Exactly. So this doesn't define anything specific. I mean, he should have did a better job at
Yeah,
exactly. Should have been
at blowing our minds with that question.
Correct. He should have did a better job because it was nice. It was a good attempt getting us to discuss fellatio.
Right.
But since he didn't define specifically fellatio, sucking off could mean anything.
So they talked themselves into a corner where we can genuinely say yes.
Correct. Exactly.
Yes, we would.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Next question. Where was your first show? That's actually a good question because I feel like I did a video on this and then I kind of later on was like, was that our first show? You wouldn't know because you weren't in the band.
I wasn't there. I think I was just being born.
So, yeah.
At that stage.
It's a good question. It's a good question. When was our very first show? I do think it was in Portland, Maine, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll do some research and then edit into this video what that is. So sorry to disappoint. On to the next question, which is what/who's your biggest musical influence?
I think mine probably from a childhood perspective was Michael Jackson. Not so much his music, just all the stuff he did to his face.
Sure. Absolutely. I'm going to actually go with MJ as well. Hopefully this doesn't lead to us getting canceled because I know that there are some thoughts and opinions.
Is he a controversial figure?
Floating around about that individual. But I think you can separate the music from the monster. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Tonight on Dateline, the music and the monster.
Exactly. No, but like in all seriousness, I mean, yeah, you know what? We're just gonna keep moving past this because this is about to turn into something that we're gonna get canceled.
Daryl Palumbo was a big inspiration to me when I was young and getting into that scene as a singer. And I think that the fact that he had Glassjaw and he had Head Automatica showed a lot of range, and it kind of put into my head that you don't have to just be the one style choice and the one genre, is that you can stretch your wings and sort of sing anything.
It's very true. I agree with that fully. I personally didn't get into Glassjaw until much later in life.
Like a couple years ago.
Yeah. I actually had to see them live with you, actually.
Yep.
In Boston with Coheed and Cambria. I mean, I was going really to see Coheed, and Glassjaw blew me away. Beck was doing some really cool stuff on stage, and Chad's playing drums for them, which is awesome.
Yep. And
it was sick. And I've been converted to a Glassjaw fan now. But yeah, I mean, definitely music as a whole. I'm gonna go definitely Michael Jackson. That's kind of got me into music, and then other stuff like that. Usher a little later on. But as far as like this kind of music, the rock stuff, my first big influence was Metallica for sure. Definitely Metallica, and in all regards, as much as people are about to get very upset for me saying this right now, but not only was I inspired by the guitar playing, my first drum kit was a Tama, literally based on the fact that Lars had one. And people can hate all they want, because I can promise you, anybody watching this video right now has less money and fame and success than Lars. Anyone.
That's probably true.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody watching this that's more successful than Lars.
What if it's Lars watching?
Dude, imagine Lars watches this. Yo, shout out Lars, bro. I just
Do it to it, Lars.
I just want to let you know, Lars, like, I support you. You know what I mean? Like, I know these people out here hating on you and saying you can't play drums, but I don't know, man. I see you on that big stage doing your thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Saint Anger wasn't your fault. Someone else probably did that.
Saint Anger probably was your fault, but who cares? It's being talked about. And if it's being talked about, in my opinion, you're doing something right. Or you're not. You know what I mean? But either way, Metallica for sure. And then when you're getting into like kind of like what we do, I'm going to have to say Thursday and Thrice those are the bands that got me into like, okay, like I'm trying to like tour and like do what those bands do.
I remember Thrice was sold to me as a screamo band.
Someone sold Thrice to you? You were able to purchase
it wasn't much at the time.
On the free market?
Yeah. When I was like starting to get into heavy music, it was like taboo to have like a screaming band. And
what do you mean?
It was like taboo? It just wasn't common. You know what I mean? There was like I was listening to 9
Common
Days.
is a rapper.
He doesn't do very much screaming.
He's got nothing to do.
No.
With Thrice.
That's a common misconception.
Correct.
That's his last name.
Misconception. No, that's his wife's name. Misconception.
So it was sold to me as like they're a screamo band, and I remember expecting like some heavy shit to happen.
Sure.
And then I listened to them and was severely disappointed.
Okay.
And then I learned to appreciate what it was. That was also a phase, my heavy goth phase, where all I listened to was Dimmu Borgir and Cradle of Filth, and my hair was dyed black and past my chin, and my fingernails were dyed black, which I couldn't do, so my mom helped me.
Very nice. Is it Dimmu or is it Dimmu?
I don't know.
It's hard.
I'm not Norwegian.
I liked them too.
Sweden.
They had really cool drums. I used to like them. One of my friends showed me them, and I thought they were really cool. Loved the double kick stuff that they had going on there.
I like what you're doing.
Like what you're doing
like
with your
the gauntlets.
feet. With your feet.
I like your feet stuff.
Right. Love. I developed a foot fetish from listening to Dimmu.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, this is directed at me specifically.
Okay.
When will you grow up and stop skateboarding and playing guitar? Really, really good question. Probably never. I'm probably going to be 85. Trying to do a kickflip or something like that. What else we got? Okay, so This was kind of a question that was already asked, but just because this person asked it in a slightly different way, we'll answer it.
Is this about sucking off again?
Unfortunately, no. It's about sucking on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what are some of Lion's influences and what prompted the band's formation? So I think they're kind of asking like as a whole, because that's really interesting. I think that a lot of people assume that bands are just like an entity, like they're not individuals, right?
Yeah.
Like that happens a lot. They're like, oh, who do you think My Chemical Romance listens to,
right,
as a whole? It's like, well, they probably all listen to different stuff. And so this person's asking like, what are our influences, maybe as a band? But I mean, I think that would differ. There's only you and I here, so we can't really answer for everyone.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of common threads, though.
Sure.
I would say that everyone that's played in the band has a few bands that we would all say are influential to the style of music that we play.
Mostly Mariah Carey.
Mostly, but none of us could whistle note because we're all cowards.
That's very true. 100%.
But the more interesting part of that question is what spawned you starting the band, and what spawned you starting the band in that particular genre after what you'd been doing prior.
Spawn. So like the comic book character.
Yeah.
That's the answer. It was Spawn. Yeah. Michael Jai White. Is that his name?
I think so.
Michael Jai White. He just was jacked and black
and burnt.
And he was
black
Spawn
and blackened.
And I was like, oh shoot, like this guy's sick. I should start a band. You know what I mean? And so I started Lions after Michael Jai White, who ironically is black.
Yep.
Was Spawn. No, but in all seriousness, I had originally played guitar. Like that was my primary instrument, and I was doing Therefore I Am. I was doing Therefore I Am, and then eventually I started playing drums in Vanna. And then on a Vanna tour, things got crazy, and I just dipped out. And then when I was thinking about playing music again, I was like, oh, do I want to keep playing drums or do I want to go back to playing guitar? And I kind of was like, I think I'm going to play guitar again. And so I started I reached out to Van Trong. Shout out Van Trong. AKC Artist Kit Company. Van was playing guitar in Lions, and then quit the band, moved to New York City, moved to the Big Apple, and started his own makeup kit company where he makes kits. The guy is doing it big. All right, he made a really good choice. I should have did that, but I didn't. So here I am, still in Lions without, a really super successful company owned by me. So shout out to Van Trong. So I called Van, and we started the band. And we just I had seen. This sounds kind of creepy, but I don't know. I stumbled upon a video of Van playing guitar, like just in his room, like he was like playing some delay stuff with one of like that old like Line 6 green delay pedal, and I just really liked what he was doing. And so when I quit Vanna, he was the first person I thought of. I was like, oh, where's that like Asian kid?
Bring me the Asian boy.
Exactly, bring me the horizon, I was like, where is that Asian guy that was sick at playing delay leads? And so I called him, and we linked up, and that's how the band started. All right. What do we got? Oh, here's a really interesting question. Who is your daddy, and what does he do? Auto mechanic. And
my dad has unfortunately passed.
Yes, that is true. Cool. Somebody says, well, they formed this as a question by just adding a question mark after it, but what it says is most overrated Lions song ? Then they said most underrated ? parentheses white flag smiley face.
Okay. Most overrated. I don't know. We don't have many ratings. Do we get rated a lot?
Rated R, of course.
R for our piracy.
Rated hard R, actually.
I can't say that.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Killing Your Grace is overrated.
Why?
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true or if I've just sung it like a billion times.
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess it's hard. I guess that's really other people's job is to decide what's overrated or underrated. I mean, this person decided that White Flag was underrated. I don't even remember what White Flag sounds like.
I don't even know what that is.
I do know that White Flag is on To Carve Our Names, but I don't actually remember what that song's. Is that like? Is that the like? Oh, that's that.
Wouldn't it be funny if we got a copyright strike for
ourselves for humming our own song? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can let people talk in the comments. Get in the comments and let us know what song is overrated and underrated, and hopefully.
Well, what's like a track that you really dig, but just you feel like hasn't caught on?
Ooh, all the songs that I thought were gonna do well did well.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? It's like I know how to write a song a little bit or something. Yeah, all the ones that I thought people would like, people liked. You know,
there's a song called 11 Months.
Ooh, that sounds sick.
Our latest album, Monument, that I really like. I feel like that record was released at a time, and it was a self-release. And I feel like a lot of people haven't heard that record.
That's true.
And some of my favorite stuff is on that record. So if you have a chance, don't go on iTunes because it's not there. But hit me up, and I'll send you some tracks. 11 Months.
So, beautiful segue to our next question. Here we go. Okay, someone specifically said, and this has got some layers to it. Okay, layers that I added, by the way. So, this person said, "What's up with Monuments not being in any streaming service?" So I'm going to stop you right there. It's Monument.
There's
not
one
plural.
One single.
Not to get up in my man's here, but the reason why Monuments is not on streaming services is because we don't have an album called that. We have an album called Monument, which coincidentally is also not on streaming services. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here. All right. When you are an independent band or artist or whatever you call yourself, group, boy band, girl band,
an ensemble,
you are responsible for putting your own music on the internet, and whatever method you use to do that, you have to pay attention to it. And so I'm going to be completely real with you people out there. Monument was posted on the internet, and you have to pay to do this. Okay, so it was posted on the internet with a reoccurring yearly fee. Okay, and the credit card attached to that expired, and when it expired, the charge didn't go through, and so the record vanished from the internet. So really,
it just went away.
We're just out here ghetto as hell, and just haven't re-uploaded it. But it is one of my favorite records that we've done, and we didn't do heavy promotion for it, and I do think that we are starting that heavy promotion right now. So Monument, you can't listen to it yet, but we're gonna get it on a new credit card.
Stay tuned for the re-release
of Monument.
It's exactly the same,
correct,
but available.
Yeah. So hopefully that answered your question. Okay, so question by the same exact person, actually. I'm not familiar with this place. Latam? Latam? Have you heard of that? Latin? Does that mean Latin America, you think? Latam?
I don't know.
Latam. They said, fan from Latam.
Oh, that makes sense.
Maybe that means Latin America.
Sure.
I could be making a fool out of myself. Maybe Latam is just a place I've never heard.
Maybe it's Latam and Eve.
Maybe it is. Is there a chance you guys could do an online show for us who aren't in the U.S.?
Well. November 25th at Taffeta in Lowell, Massachusetts. Lines 15-year anniversary show will be streamed live. You can buy tickets.
This will be our first live stream. It's November 25th, just like Josh just said. And so that answers your question. We can reach out to this individual like privately and just hit him up with a DM, being like, hey, that show you can actually stream.
Yeah, so there's going to be a live stream
worldwide.
Look for it on LimeWire. A couple days usually wait a couple days after to check for LimeWire. But yeah, we're going to be doing a live stream of that set, and I'm nervous about it.
I get nervous in cars.
I get nervous about Lars.
There we go.
All
Yeah, I do. I get nervous about Lars too. Just really confused how so many people can just hate a guy for just being loaded. You know what I mean? It's like all he's doing is just having more money than you. Yeah, he's just being. You know what I mean? Being as an ocean. That's what he's doing. And a lot of people are super mad about this. There's memes. Honestly, a lot of the hatred, I gotta say, a lot of the Lars hatred has nothing to do with his drumming, and it has to do with Napster.
Oh, yeah.
People, that's where they were like, okay, well, now we were pretending that you were good at drums, but since you Napstered us, now you suck.
He gave Napster the nap.
Correct. Exactly.
It's funny how so many people will still carry the torch for like a decades old music piracy site. Now, not that I'm innocent of committing crimes of piracy, but like, let it go. We have other things now. It's okay.
I know. Okay, so now we've got an inside joke, deep cut. Who actually ate the burritos? Do you want to go ahead and tell this story?
Where were we? Were we in Texas?
No. We were in Canada. And the reason I know this is because Spencer, the tech for Silverstein, shout out Silverstein.
Thanks for taking us to Canada.
Yeah, thanks for bringing us to your homeland, and yeah, so Spencer, shout out Spencer too. Spencer now works for August Burns Red. So shout out August Burns Red. Spencer was nice enough to bring us burritos.
Yeah, we so there was our band, which is a 5-piece band, and then I think just Jay Colley. Shout out Jay Colley, the man who has done the most work for the least pay.
Oh, absolutely.
And the most stress, and it totally wasn't worth it.
That's true.
But we love him. So there was 6 burritos brought for us as a group. So we're in Canada. We're playing a show. Brandon and I, much like the other members of the band, have worked up quite the appetite. And so the post-show hungries kick in, and we go, oh, thank God, there's burritos for us. And these burritos were talked up all day. These are the best burritos in Canada, which I don't know what that means.
The best burritos in Canada.
I mean, it's an accolade.
Yeah.
Best burritos in Canada, coming at us, hot, in a bag, ready to go. And so when I inquire about said burritos, I'm told that they're all gone. So someone in our group ate the extra burrito. So when the questioning began, the obvious solution to me was the resident stoner of the band.
Correct.
Because I saw a lot of Scooby-Doo as a kid, and I know what Shaggy and Scooby were up to with those big-ass sandwiches.
Yep.
So I go, hey, Isaac, what's going on with those burritos? No, dude, I had one burrito. I swear, I had like 1.5 burritos. And I'm like, wait, did you have one burrito or 1.5 burritos? He goes, no, dude, I had to try it. He had the one burrito, but he had to try. Just to make sure there was no drastic difference between these two burritos.
Yep.
So he goes, dude, I swear to God, you can ask Spencer.
You can ask God.
The man the man that was called Spencer but is God of burritos. God of Canada's finest burritos.
Yep.
Who blessed us with this gift.
Bless the fall.
He goes, I swear, dude, I ate one burrito. Ask Spencer. And I go, all right, I'm gonna. So I go, Spencer, hey, man, I'm sure you heard the burrito situation. They're all gone. Did you see Isaac eat any burritos? And he goes, yeah, he ate 3. To this day, it is denied.
3.
So, the moral of the story is Scooby-Doo will lead your kids in the right direction to know that if there's a burrito theft, you can point to the Shaggy of the group. And much like Shaggy, his defense was, it wasn't me.
Yep.
And I'm eating the burritos.
It wasn't me.
I had 3. Didn't save them for my friends. I had 3.
Yep. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. Will tabs ever be released to carve our names?
Definitely not.
100% no way. So for those of you that don't play the guitar, tabs are guitar music, because most guitar players, I don't want to say most, many guitar players don't know how to read music, myself included. And so they have made tabs, which is short for tablature.
It's music reading for dummies.
Exactly. It's what it is. It's like numbers and stuff, and it's just like, hey, put your finger here because you're stupid. And I would assume
put your finger here is going to be the name of my solo project.
Freddie Got Fingered is actually the name of my solo project. Yeah, so this person's just basically asking us if we're going to have guitar music for people that are stupid. And honestly, that would be really cool to have that, but I'm assuming it probably costs a lot of money to have like an actual physical book that exists. Many bands have it. You could find tabs for Green Day and Led Zeppelin and whatever else white people listen to. It's all out there in tabs. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm going to say no. Also, there's just like not enough people that want to learn how to play our songs.
Yeah.
You know, they're just not.
Well, just give it a go. You can figure it out. You can figure it out.
Yeah, they're pretty easy. Our songs are pretty easy to play. Just like your mom. Someone's asking specifically me if I will be on their podcast. And they said, I have interviewed some mutual friends. If you've interviewed mutual friends of mine and yours and I don't know you, the answer is no. Because I probably hate those people and I hate you.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah,
exactly. No, maybe I'll go on that. Let me just talk a little bit about that. All right, let's talk about all that. Let's talk about all that. The show. Exactly. So podcasts, I haven't done a ton of them, and so automatically, anybody watching this who I have been on one from is gonna know that I'm directly talking about them. But I don't care. The thing about podcast and me is whenever I'm on a podcast, the person like editing it like doesn't like make me sound that cool. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like if I'm going to be on a podcast, you have to let me edit it.
You need creative control.
Yes, I do, because they just be hitting record and it just like
leaving it be.
Like, yeah, it's just like, I need production value. Like I need to be elevated. You know,
there's certain phrases you might say that need some echo, perhaps, and some reverb.
100%.
Like this.
Yes, there we go. The best part about that is when I do the edit and don't put the reverb on it. And then you look stupid.
You just raise the pitch up. Yeah. The pitch shift is super high up instead.
Yeah, exactly. No, I got you on some reverb at that part. But this is what I'm talking about. I need production value. Like, and you know, And also, people be asking boring questions. Like just hit me with something sick. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe I'll do that podcast for this person. But like, you got to let me edit it because I'll be making it fire. You know what I mean? I'll be out here making cool stuff, adding stuff into it. Oh my god, that's so funny. I just rereading the one that says you need to grow up and stop playing guitar and skateboarding. All right, so this one's specifically for me. Where can I get a Fever 333 stage suit? So for those of you that don't know, I also play in another band called Fever 333. And we wear these suits that resemble, I guess, like a mechanic.
The jumpsuits.
Like a jump. They're not a jumpsuit because they're not one piece. I think a jumpsuit is considered to a one piece thing. So it's really we're working at Firestone.
Really like a Firestone.
We're working at Firestone. Midas is Midas. What's Midas?
That's where you touch stuff; it turns to gold.
My dust. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got these jumpsuits in which you're now seeing on the screen because, like previously stated, I make these things interesting. So you're actually looking at the jumpsuits. Now we have a white one and we have a black one. And unfortunately, they are not for sale, but you could make your own.
And also, where are you going to wear that, person?
That is a good question. So, yeah, if you're watching this, my man, where are you going to wear it to?
Where are you going to wear it?
Because, I know you're not going to come to the show. I know you. You're one of my personal friends, which is why I'm being nice enough to not say your name, Joey Cogs. All right?
We do the one that I have.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, question is, what was the coolest band you met when touring that wasn't from Boston?
You can tell me your opinion on that first.
Well, here's a cool story. While we were touring, accommodations like hotels were not an option for us, just budgetarily. So our go-to spot to sleep at night was Walmart parking lots. That's just what we did, and it's common. A lot of bands will tell you about Walmart parking lots. It's sick because they're open 24 hours usually, so you can take a dump in there. You can go ask for popcorn chicken and walk around the store and eat it and not pay for it.
Very true.
There's a lot of upsides to the Walmart parking lot. But one morning, we woke up with another van and trailer next to us, and it ended up being the Chariot.
That's true.
Which I had been a fan of for a long time. So it was very cool to meet them on that level where it's like, oh, we're both doing this.
The Chariot, a much bigger and better and cooler band than us, was also sleeping in the parking lot at Walmart. Yeah. And it's like, on one way to look at it, you're like, oh, cool, like, we're all in this together. But then also you're like, wait a second, people actually come and see them.
Right. And then you're like, oh, wow, we have to get like way, way up in order to not be doing this.
Absolutely.
But I think they had air conditioning, which was a benefit.
I think they did too, which is irrelevant because we saw them in the winter. So I don't even know why you're bringing that up. We went to Mount Rushmore. We drove to the top. We drove up to Mount Rushmore to see the faces of death.
Yeah.
Okay. And the van turned off and wouldn't turn back on.
So we go in this crazy snowstorm to see Mount Rushmore at night during a snowstorm. So we didn't see anything. There was literally no seeing of Mount Rushmore. There was just us climbing a mountain in a van and trailer in a snowstorm and then not making it back down.
There was no seeing. Seeing is not believing.
We believed in Mount Rushmore.
Exactly, from what we believe. For those of you that don't know, we have an album called From What We Believe. which is still actively on streaming services.
That is available.
If you would like to listen to it.
So here's a question that seems like something that someone would ask but didn't. What made you keep the band going after 20 member changes throughout the years?
Interesting question.
What made you stick with it rather than just forming something else?
I don't know. I guess for me, it just never felt like there was any real urgency to end the band. Like, it wasn't, my life wasn't in danger. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's why most bands break up.
Yeah.
It's their lives are in imminent danger.
Are in danger.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm actually going to go backwards here, since this is all going to get edited anyway. And I'm going to answer my portion of the bands we've met on the road, because you said yours, and then never let me say mine. Because you suck.
That's why.
So, bands we've met on the road. Let's start off with the bands that have helped us the most, which I got to say, Sleeping with Sirens has taken us on tour like 14 times, and allowed us to play for their fan base, gaining 0 of those fans. But who cares? We got to play for them. And Sleeping with Sirens just kept growing and growing, and they kept bringing us out. So shout out to Sleeping with Sirens.
They really have done a shocking amount to help our band out.
Yeah, so Sleeping with Sirens, we already brought up Silverstein, but Silverstein also took us on tour, or at least agreed to have us. Sometimes, it's not that the band picks you. Like, we need Lions. It's like our name kind of gets thrown into a hat, and then the band's like, I guess we'll tolerate them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is still great.
Until they meet us.
Yeah, exactly. And then we cause a bunch of problems. That tends to happen pretty often. I remember we were on tour. Oh, what tour is that? Something about not Line 6, Motel 6. Were you on that tour?
The Motel 6 Rock Yourself to Sleep
tour.
You
were
tour.
On that, right?
I was.
Yeah, Rock Yourself to Sleep tour.
With We Came as Romans.
Woe Is Me.
For Today.
Who else was on that? Someone else was on that,
Someone else was on that.
Ooh, that's so tough. Who else was on that? We Came as Romans, Lions, Woe Is Me, For Today. Was it The Word Alive?
Yes. Yep.
It was The Word Alive.
Texas in July.
That's so weird, because I feel like, I don't know about you, but I am friends with The Word Alive, and I don't remember being on that tour. They probably were, though. Sick tour, eventful in regards to bumming people out. So we were, I don't even remember this guy's name, but we arrived to one of the venues prior to We Came as Romans. And so we took it upon ourselves to load in to the venue. And apparently we were supposed to wait for the headlining band, which was We Came as Romans, to load in first. And me, just being a person and understanding that We Came as Romans are also just people and have no superiority over me, I decided we got there first, so we're loading in first. And so we did that. And I was nice enough to make sure that our equipment was put like nowhere near the stage and out of the way and like yada, yada, yada. I was as nice as I could be while being rude, doing something I'm not supposed to do. Okay? And
it's the classic better to beg for forgiveness than ask permission.
Love it. And then We Came as Romans tour manager storms into the venue and says, "Nobody loads in before We Car." And just like, first of all, just say the whole band. Just say the whole band name. When you say We Car, what is We Car? That's what We Car. That sounds like something.
It's a small car.
Yes, it sounds like exactly. It sounds like that's a yes car, because French. You know what I mean? We Car. Nobody loads in before yes car.
Yes car, small car.
Like, what are you saying, bro? Just say We Came as Romans. That sounds strong. We Came as Romans. That sounds powerful. When you're like, nobody loads in before We Car. And it was just weird, and I don't know, I started laughing. But it's not like we were gonna load back out and then load back in, so of course he was just sad. But also that same day, I just want to add this in. Their drummer at the time, his name is Eric. He saw me and he started playing A Dead Language for a Dying Lady on the drums. And I thought that was so cool that he knew a song from a band that I was in. If you are unfamiliar, A Dead Language for a Dying Lady is a song by the band Vanna that I used to play drums in. And so me seeing a guy that I don't even know playing that on drums, I was like, that's so cool. Not that it's a very difficult drum part or anything, but the fact that he knew it was just so cool. What else happened on that tour? I think did we take somebody's parking spot too? Oh yeah, who
Probably.
Was that also We Came as Romans?
I don't know. I don't remember much from that tour.
I think it was We Came as Romans. You know what? First of all, sounds like I'm kind of talking trash about We Came as Romans, and I'm not. Like, I like We Came as Romans. Like, I liked Eric. I like their current drummer now, who was the drummer for Today then. Okay. But who is now the drummer for We Came as Romans. Yeah, I like them. I like them as people, and I like their band. But, yeah, back then, I don't know. There was just a lot of weird stuff happening. And I feel like, yes, we were at a venue in Hollywood. Forget what the venue was called, but it was a venue in Hollywood. And again, we got this really good parking spot.
Too good to be true.
Literally too good to be true. And, you know, parking is one of those things that in life tends to be first come, first serve. And so, yeah, me being a person who is a part of life and just making a normal assumption that parking would be first come, first serve, we parked in an open parking spot that no one was in. Because if someone was there, we would have crashed into them.
Into me.
Exactly. So, yeah, We Came as Romans. I'm pretty sure it was We Came as Romans tour manager. This one I'm unsure of. So I really shouldn't even be telling this story. So, all right, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to split up the possible damage here. Okay?
Okay.
Because I know it was one of them. It was either the Word Alive or it was We Came as Romans. All right? So sorry to whoever I'm throwing under the bus, sorry. But it was one of you guys' tour managers came outside and had the audacity to ask us to move out of our parking spot so that they could have it. And me being me, once again, just started laughing. I was just like, what is touring? Like, touring is a crazy thing. And you know what's extra crazy is that there are a lot of bands that would have just moved. They would have just been like, oh my God, like a band that plays above us in the lineup asked us to move out of the way. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I'm all set, bro. Like, get out my face, little white boy. Like, get out my face. This is my parking spot. Take it. Come and take it from me. Come and take it. And why don't you take these nuts while you're at it? Like, come on, bro.
I feel like so much of our touring career going from just like DIYing it so hard and just slumming it to being given the opportunity to do these bigger tours with bigger bands. There was a lot of fish out of water scenarios that could have been handled better. But ultimately, here we are.
Yes. Yeah. Here we are playing one show a year.
We showed them.
Yeah, I know, right? We really showed them. Meanwhile, We Came as Romans and The Word Alive are still actively touring, doing sick stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably should have just gave you guys that parking spot.
There was a lot of room for growth for us as a touring band.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yo, whoever was TMing you guys, my bad. Sorry about that. Let me get a tour real quick. Let me get a do-over. Take Lions out real quick. Even though we're all like married with like 40 kids and jobs and can't tour anyway. But let us get an offer.
We're all married to 40 kids.
We're all married to 40 kids. Wait, what? Yep, Chris Hansen's already out there.
So it was customary on a lot of these tours that bands would do a prank, a final show prank, which would run the gamut from like harmless stuff. I remember on a Sleeping with Sirens tour, Kellen grabbing one of your guitars and coming on stage, and I guess
on stage,
yeah, all over.
Oh wow! Okay, that got graphic.
You guys should have
quickly.
seen that.
It's like the Rammstein thing.
Yep. He grabs a guitar and comes out and is just like doing the guitar moves, but like making us look more sick.
Yeah.
Because he's co-signing us, so it's like, oh, great prank.
Yep.
You really nailed us.
Yeah, you're the most popular person on the tour.
You're
the reason why people came to see anything.
Yes.
Specifically him. Like,
so
not even just the band. Like,
showing
just
up
Kellen
during
Quinn
our set
as a person.
Really got us.
Oh, yeah. He really, oh, no. Don't show the world that you're friends with us.
Please don't do this every night.
Yeah.
So that same show, there was a band called Danger Kids who during their set, a tire was wheeled onto the stage, which was funny. They're like, oh, the tire is out here on the stage. Until they realized where the tire came from, which was their van.
Oh, my God. Was it Conditions that did that to them?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, shout out Conditions because oh, sorry, I don't know. Woo. Yeah. So shout out Conditions, not only for pranking Danger Kids, but just for being Conditions. Their band's so good.
Their band rules.
Yeah.
They were good to us. They took us out.
Oh yeah, we did the Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
We did a Christmas tour with Conditions and the Orphan the Poet.
Yes.
Yep. Also, shout out Orphan the Poet. Check out all these bands. I don't think the Conditions exist anymore, but the Orphan and the Poet. Is it the Orphan and the Poet or the Orphan the Poet?
The Orphan the Poet.
The Orphan the Poet still exists, still friends of ours, and they still play, and you should check them out for sure.
Good guys. There was no confrontations on
Oh yeah, that whole tour was just normal people being normal people.
So there was another prank where a band was playing that I won't name, but they were a band they were playing to a backtrack on their laptop, and you would notice that it was Logic Pro that was running everything. And so you just did a real quick double tap of the space bar, which then threw the entire band into a flurry because everything they're hearing is 2 milliseconds off.
Yeah.
For the rest of the song.
That's very true. They were really bummed out. And the thing is, like, not only were they bummed out, but they never even found out who did it.
No.
So they were just, like, pissed.
And the mystery will remain.
And the memory remains.
Yeah.
Metallica. You know who loves this story is Ricky and or Eric, because he goes by both names. He was the one playing bass for the Color Morale on that tour. Which also segues into the prank for them, which I believe was Jay Colley just taking all of their merch and putting it on the stage. And you know what's really interesting about this is, like, we became very close friends with the Color Morale, like,
yes.
very quickly. Like, we bonded with those guys. And I feel like they were more mad about their merch being put on the stage than the band whose set got sabotaged by me hitting the space bar and ruining their actual set. Which I just feel like is interesting because it's like we were not friends with the band who I ruined their set.
Right.
And we were very good friends with the Color Morale. And the Color Morale was like, I don't want to say the Color Morale, but specifically Garrett, was super mad.
Well, Garrett sold all their merch.
Yes.
He was very into being the face of the band.
Okay.
And so when the second their set was over, he was behind the merch table selling.
Yeah.
all the
So
merch.
if anything,
He was
Jay
their
did him a
guy.
favor because
He brought the merch
to him.
Literally.
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? He's like, hey, you were going to do this anyway, so here you go, sell it from here. You know, he was not having it, dude.
No,
he was so
not
bummed
pleased.
out. And we love Garrett. Garrett's the man. Is that the only tour we did with them?
I think so.
Yeah. So they never actually took us out after that, probably because we put their merch on the stage.
Yeah.
But I will say
there's plenty of good reason not to do it again.
There's all the reasons in the world to not take Lions on tour. But what I have to say, I do have to give those guys credit, is they hired me. They took me on tour as an individual to work for them. And I was supposed to be a TM and tech. But I ended up really just being a tech because Devin was so used to TMing their band that he basically was the TM. I just did tech stuff. I was IT. So
you were solving.
I was on the phones,
network errors, and router issues.
We had LAN parties, and when stuff would go
and lemon parties.
We had 2 lemon parties and 2 LAN parties a week, and I did IT for both.
Those were a busy couple days.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those servers were full.
I feel like people don't know a lot about what we were doing on tour. Lions was such a chaotic band to have around and on a tour. And I don't think anyone knows this. I think this is all very new information.
Yeah.
But it was sort of, I don't know what it was. We had this chip on our shoulder.
The Dorito.
We had a Dorito. And it was just, we were too Cool Ranch. We were Cooler Ranch.
Cooler Ranch. Pacific Cooler Ranch.
We had this chip on our shoulder where we're just like, this is dumb. Like, what is happening? And so we just treated absolutely everything like a joke. We're just
that's
like,
true. Which is why our career became one.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
There was just no intention on playing the game ever.
Yep.
Just all the things, all like the suck up, kiss ass things that we would have had to do
to like make it somewhere.
Not only did we not do, but we did the opposite of those things.
Yeah, instead of sucking dick, we got our dick sucked. You know what I mean? At least I did. So, shout out to everybody who sucked my dick on tour. Like straight up. Shout out to all y'all. Keeping me alive and well on the road. Head.
Imagine that's the only clip that gets uploaded. The whole thing. I'm just like, dude, how did the edit come out? You're like, dude, it came out sick. It's literally just shout out to all the people that suck my dick.
Shout out Mike Travis for just existing and being the man and bailing me just out of like a whole bunch of like bad things that happened in my life. I was just able to call Mike and be like, hey bro, I'm in trouble.
I'm in federal prison.
I need your help. And he has been there 11 times out of 10. He created a way to do something that's not possible.
He creates problems for you.
Yep.
And then
solves
gets you out of them.
And then solves them.
Yeah, instantly.
Exactly. That's
before you even know
that's a really good friend. You know
before you even know that there was
a
an
person
issue.
that it's like he lights my house on fire and then puts it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But before any damage
damage was done. Exactly.